David Schwartz, again with Lee Ielby for part 3 of TOS50.com, the other side of 50. We left off talking about that your vision for tomorrow and tomorrow being a better day, and you've taken such personal tragedy and turned it into such a positive message for so many people. First of all, how do you do it? How do you find the strength to do this?
I'm going to have to say it's my son, of course. My best friend, my fishing and hunting buddy. I have 4 children. Jonathan was the oldest boy. I lost probably 80, maybe 100 good friends. Every fireman from my firehouse that came died here. All the rescue companies, I was attached to a rescue, that came here, every man died. The squads, my son's firehouse, 19 men from that firehouse. 2 units, hazardous materials in the squad. 19 men came, all 19 died. So the easiest thing to do would be hate, wouldn't it? But then where were we going to go with hate? Just be getting other hate. So I would rather focus on tomorrow. My son's grandchildren, I now have 7 grandchildren. We have to find a way to make tomorrow a better day. What have we done since September 11th? Well, we demand justice. We have to have justice. We've gone to war. We've lost more young men and women fighting this war than died on 9/11. But what have we done in the middle? We spoke about education, and we've done nothing in the middle. So how are we supposed to move on for tomorrow if our young people aren't prepared for tomorrow? So the mission is very simple in my eyes anyhow, and that's education. That's enlightenment, and that's globally. That's not just in our country here. And we failed miserably. If I can say there isn't a state that is teaching our young. We've had over 1,200 wounded veterans come to tribute. And when we say wounded veterans, we're talking about 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. The majority have no legs or 1 leg or 1 arm. A vast number of them are young ladies. It's disturbing to think that they're going there fighting, and there's a good likelihood when it's over there, it's not going to be any better. So it's got to be tomorrow. It's got to be focused on education. It has to be education. We learn. We learned from the Holocaust. We learned from slavery. And I can go on and on and on. If we don't learn from this event, I'm not going to doom and gloom this. They've already tried to come back. They've come back May 1st, Times Square. They failed. The underwear bomber, the shoe bomber, recently. What do we need? We need a good kick in the backside again? I hope not.
I know you've talked about the mosque controversy down here, and you've tried to calm people down on all sides. What are some of your thoughts on how that's going to proceed?
You know, we basically said no statement because of our position. The one statement we did make was on 9/11, the day itself, when there were going to be protests here in the city. 9/11 is a day for remembrance. It's not a day to promote any type of hatred, whether you like the mosque or you don't like the mosque. And that was our stand, and that is our stand to this day. It's so easy to hate. You know, if you could focus, if we could focus the hate that some have on positive, boy, we could make one hell of a difference.
You know, just changing tracks, you mentioned that you were down here for 9 months. You found your son after 3 months. Can you just tell us a little bit about the 9 months, what it was like down here?
There is no way to describe this. You know, I've said it to many times to people. I've led a pretty rough and tumble life. I fought in a war. I was in Vietnam in a special unit. I worked in the busiest house in the city, which was a rescue company in Brooklyn, Rescue 2. We saw things that very difficult for people to see. There is nothing that can compare to what happened at this site here. You have to think about it for a second. At the World Trade Center site, I gave the figure, 2,749 people were murdered. There's only 174 whole bodies. So what happened to the other bodies? Well, the men and women that worked at this site for 9 months found 19,979 body parts. you can never say enough thank yous for these people on their hands and knees for that long. There are still 1,125 people still missing, unaccounted for, from the World Trade Center site. Today, this day, 2010. Difficult place to work? Absolutely. The people have to carry this on their shoulders? Absolutely. Are there people having major problems psychologically? Absolutely. Cancers, respiratory problems, sinus problems? Absolutely. It was a very difficult place. It'll always be a difficult place for those that suffered here, that worked here.
Okay, hold that thought for one more moment. We're going to come back with part 4 for TOS50.com, the other side of 50.